was Lewis Hamilton. Into Vale we went, he got slightly on the curb, but there's no time lost there that was obvious from the wheel. Slight correction, 2 minor corrections as he tried to apply.
Hamilton didn't just miss a podium, he was positioned to miss it. On the surface, it looked like a veteran driver struggling in mixed conditions. Missed grip, tricky timing, a car that didn't quite hold together. But what played out at turn 14, the snap, the slide, the recovery, was only part of the picture. The real story unfolded behind the scenes, buried in the telemetry and hidden in moments of strategic silence. This wasn't simply a race gone wrong, it was a calculated sequence of decisions, and quite possibly a message sent without a word spoken. If you're here for more than just lap-by-lap analysis, if you're looking to understand the deeper game behind what unfolded at Silverstone, then subscribe, because what happened to Hamilton wasn't about performance. It was about power, because this wasn't just technical failure, it was systemic. A setup that promised speed but punished consistency. A design update marketed as progress but built like a trap. Rear tyre temps spiked outside the ideal window, brake bias shifted mid-race, and the balance tipped just enough to feel like a mistake. But may not have been one. The SF-25 didn't fail by accident. It rejected him by design. When Hamilton asked for support, Ferrari stayed quiet. No guidance, no adjustment, just radio silence. And a driver like Lewis doesn't just forget how to drive in mixed conditions. But when the machine beneath him resists, when the team offers no answers, it's no longer about the track. It's about trust. And in this case, it was already breaking. The signs showed early. By lap 28, Hamilton reported the rear felt unstable, snapping unpredictably. Ferrari simply responded, "Copy." That was it. No suggestions, no strategy shifts. The same kind of eerie silence we saw back in Monaco 2022, when the right call went missing and cost more than just points. The SF-25 was running a low downforce setup, one that sacrificed ride height for speed. But instead of helping, it made the car fight the surface like it didn't belong there. So who signed off on this? Did Lewis push for it, or was he nudged toward failure? The data didn't lie. His rear tyres were degrading 12% faster than Leclerc's. Same compound, similar laps. That doesn't happen randomly. It suggests the setup wasn't just bad, it wasn't meant to last. And when an experienced driver calls it early and gets nothing back, that's not an oversight. It starts to feel deliberate. Then came the strange shift. Mid-race, brake balance suddenly moved forward by 1.9%. In F1 terms, that's a huge change. And it made no sense. Conditions didn't demand it. Hamilton didn't request it. But it happened. He came on the radio. It just doesn't feel connected. He wasn't talking about minor issues. He was saying the car wasn't listening. That's when it got serious. Ferrari systems can make automated decisions. Brake bias, energy deployment, tyre response. But the team never confirmed if those systems were in play. And after lap 21, internal data showed Hamilton's manual override was gone. He couldn't adjust anything. The car was running on decisions he didn't make, and maybe didn't even know about. So who was really in control? By then, the race had already slipped away. The perfect undercut window came and went. Ferrari held him 2 laps too long. Leclerc got clean air and pulled ahead. Hamilton was sent straight into traffic. They blamed it on GPS issues. But sector data was working. They knew where the gaps were. So why wait? According to insiders, simulations had flagged Hamilton's setup as risky for a drying track. They knew instability would rise. But they said nothing. No heads up, no adjustments. Just a pit call at exactly the wrong time. Too late to help, too early to wait. It didn't feel like a mistake. It felt precise. Because this wasn't just about time. It was about trust. If a team gives you enough support to look like they're helping, but not enough to change anything, doubt takes root. You don't just lose positions. You lose confidence. Not in the car, but in the people behind it. And the SF-25 was making its own statement. Post-pit stop, Sector 2 instability jumped nearly 19%. That's not normal wear. That's rejection. The ride height was too low for proper airflow. Tyres overheated, chassis couldn't breathe. Was that really Lewis's call? Or did Ferrari silently let him run into a wall, just to say, "We told you so," without saying it? Because that's exactly what they did. They let him run the numbers. Let the data fail instead of arguing. Let him take the fall so they didn't have to push him. The whispers in the garage made it clear. He wanted it, we gave it. Then we watched. Not sabotage, not spite, just cold strategy. And after the race, it all clicked. Vasseur stepped in front of the cameras, calm and rehearsed. "We had feedback issues," he said. But behind the scenes, there was no surprise. Everyone looked like they already knew the outcome, like it had been decided before the lights went out. The clearest message came from Hamilton himself, and it wasn't on the radio. No debrief, no garage handshake, no eye contact, just a quiet line. "We're not developing forward. We're looping." That wasn't about lap times. That was about leadership. Direction control. Because this race stopped being about performance. It became about power. Hamilton wasn't just pushing against the track. He was pushing against a system that didn't want to move. And instead of backing him, Ferrari clipped his wings right when he was trying to fly. The story was spun fast. Tyre wear, brake bias, driver error. But it all pointed back to him. On paper, it looked like he got it wrong. But behind the scenes, the team was already writing that ending. Quietly, intentionally. Let him own the failure and protect the structure behind it. Now Hamilton sees it. This car isn't just a machine. It's a chessboard. And he's not the only one making moves. Every silence, every pit call, every setup. It's all part of a larger game. And it's not about Silverstone. It's about what's coming. 2026 is closing in. A new era, new regulations, new car. But after this race, Hamilton knows the real fight isn't with Verstappen or Norris. It's with the walls around him, with the systems behind the screens, with the quiet choices made in sim rooms and strategy meetings. Because this isn't just a car issue anymore. It's cultural. The SF-25 didn't just snap under pressure. It snapped trust. When a driver stops feeling like a teammate and starts feeling like a test subject, the goal changes. You stop chasing wins. You start watching your back. And once trust breaks, it doesn't get repaired. It gets replaced. The real tension isn't on the track. It's in the data logs, in the silence of pit calls, in the cold logic of coded decisions. What happened at Silverstone wasn't a mistake. It was a glimpse of what's to come. So if you're still thinking, this was just a bad Sunday, think again. This wasn't misfortune. It was calculated, strategic, sharp. Like, subscribe, and join the resistance. Because the truth won't be broadcast. But here, we decode it.